Hello, welcome back to another me reading stories episode 2 finale. Mysteriousman was DeathriderZ battles. I'm RobotGz. Last time I read more of my story, and in this part I will finally finish my story. So let's continue. Last I left off, I was at the next battle being Mr. Zero Crocodile versus Rob Lucci of One Piece for the 2-year time skip. And the battle will take place in a jungle. Both opponents have been placed in the arena already and are facing / staring at each other. And then a tumbleweed rolls by. Lucci was the first to say something and said, "Sir Crocodile, X7 Warlords of the Sea, I'm here to take you into custody and bring you to Impel Down." And then Crocodile said while smoking his cigar, "Another government dog has come to hunt me down. If you don't mind, I've got places to be and plans to seal. And besides, you're not worth my time." And then Lucci gets a bit angry and then says, "No, I won't just let you go anywhere, and I'm worth your time. What plans are you gonna steal?" And then Crocodile evilly smirks and then says, "Oh, I'll see if you are worth my time, and I plan to steal Pluton." And then Lucci acts surprised for a second and then says, "Well, about Pluton." And then Crocodile says, "Yeah, what about it?" And then Lucci says, "I don't know how to put this, but they were burned up by a guy named Cyborg Frankie." And then Crocodile gets real angry and bites off his cigar and then says, "What?" And then Lucci says, "It's true. I saw it with my own eyes." And then Crocodile said, I'm gonna kill that punk slowly and painfully. Now get out of my way." And then Lucci said, "No." And then Crocodile said, "Move, or I'll make you move." And then Lucci said, "No, and I'd like to see you try." And now let this epic fight commence. Crocodile attacked first by using the Salto Sparta long-range blade attack, only it's sand and not a blade. And then Lucci dodged it, and then Crocodile said, "Good eye. If you were hit by that, not only would you be dead, but you'd be split in two." And then Lucci didn't respond back, and then attacked with Run Kick, and went right through Crocodile. And then he reassembled himself, and then Lucci said, "Logia, eh?" And then thought to himself, "None of my attacks will work unless I use hockey, which I don't have, so the next best option is to find his weakness. Considering he ate this tuna no mi fruit, and he's made of sand." Wait a second. And then Crocodile said, "That's correct. I'll give you 3 minutes, because I don't have time for small fry like you." And then Lucci said, "Well, we'll see about that." And then Crocodile said, "Humph," while smoking his cigar. And then Lucci thought to himself, "I need something to distract him. I've got it." And then Lucci ran into the jungle. And then Crocodile said, "Where are you going?" And then he followed Lucci. In the deep jungle, Crocodile was looking for Lucci, and then a bunch of trees started falling down. And then Crocodile said, "Found you," and then used slow boost. And the sandstorm headed towards the direction where the trees fell. And then after a while, Crocodile went to check if he got Lucci, and he didn't. And then out of nowhere, Lucci got behind Crocodile and then used Shigun! And then Crocodile bled 10% of his blood and grunted, and then turned around to attack Lucci with his hook. and then Lucci dodged it. And then Lucci said, "I thought so." And then Crocodile said, "So, I see you've already figured out my weakness. 3 minutes are up anyways, and I've done playing with you." After he said that, Crocodile put his hand on the ground and used ground death. And then everything dried up or turned into sand. And then Lucci tried attacking Crocodile with his hands and feet. Were still wet and used Shigon Orin. And then Crocodile put his hand up and sucked the water from Lucci's hands. And then Lucci quickly jumped out of Crocodile's grasp before he turned him into a mummy. And then Crocodile put his hand back on the ground and continued to use ground death. And then Lucci quickly looked for water using Soru and Kibble. And he did find water, but it was the last one, so he quickly grabbed some and then quietly snuck behind Crocodile's back and then poured water all over him. And then Crocodile couldn't move. And then Lucci turned into his leopard form and then used Rokugan. And then Crocodile lost 30% of his blood and then finished off what he could with ground death. And then everything was just desert. And then Lucci thought to himself, "This is bad. Now he has the advantage. The only way I'll hurt him now is with my own blood." And then Crocodile ran towards Lucci and used Voltron. It's a crescent blade made out of sand. And then Lucci used Tekai. And then Crocodile said, "Ooh." And then Lucci pierced his own arms, making his own blood run down his hands. And when Lucci was doing that, Crocodile disappeared. And then Lucci said to himself, "This seems familiar." And just when Crocodile was going to sneak attack Lucci, it failed, and Lucci defended against his attack. And then Crocodile took off a part of his hook and brought out his second hook, the poison hook. And then they stared at each other for a bit, and then clashed fists and hook for a few minutes, and then Crocodile grabbed Lucci and started sucking the blood/water from his body. And when he was still sucking blood/water, he aimed for Lucci's heart and put his right hook right through him. And then Crocodile said, while still holding on to Lucci's body with just his hook, "You ran out of luck, Rob Lucci. Now die slowly and painful while I continue on with my plans." And then Crocodile gets Lucci off his hook and throws him on the ground and then walks away while evilly laughing. For the last DeathriderZ battle, it's going to be Magneto from Marvel versus Eustace Kid from One Piece. And the battle will take place in an abandoned factory. At the abandoned factory, Magneto was looking for more mutants to join his brotherhood. And then he heard a clank sound. So he decided to check it out, and when he got to where the sound was, he saw another person, and that person was destroying some metal. And then Magneto said, "You there, stop." And then the person stopped what he was doing and said, "Hmm?" And another person is here. What do you want? And then Magneto said, "I'm looking for mutants to join my cause. You look like one. Would you like to join? Oh, almost forgot to ask what your name was." And then the person said, "Besides, I'm not immune, although I did eat a tofu. No, I won't join some old geezer scoop. And my name is Eustace Kid." And then Magneto threw a metal object at Eustace Kid, and he got hurt and said, "Ow, what was that for?" And then Magneto said, "That was for calling me a geezer. I might be old, but I could still teach you a few lessons. It's a shame you're not a mutant. I guess you'll die just like the rest. And what is a devil fruit?" And then Eustace said, "Oh, I see. A devil fruit is a fruit from my dimension where it gives you a certain power slash ability depending on which devil fruit you ate. And there's three types: Logia, Paramecia, and Zone. And what do you mean by the rest?" And then McNeil said, "I see. And what I mean is that you're a human and not a mutant, so you will die." And then Eustace said, "Not if I have anything to say about it." And then the battle finally begins. Eustace attacked first by gathering metal slash using his power. Some metal objects, and then threw them at Magneto. And then Magneto used those metal objects. Eustace just threw them, and then threw it back at Eustace. And then Eustace defended against it. And then Magneto said, "Interesting. Do you have the same power as me?" And then Eustace said, "Probably, but not really. I don't know. I can't remember the name of the devil fruit he ate." And then Magneto said, "I see." And then Magneto looked at Eustace's metal arm and smirked for a bit, and then asked, "What happened to your arm?" And then Eustace looked at his metal arm and then said, "Oh, this? I was in a fight when I lost it. It took me a while to put this thing together, but it works pretty well." And then Magneto said, "Oh, I see." And then Magneto picked up more metal objects and threw them at Eustace. And Eustace was caught off guard and took the hit, making him bleed 5% of his blood. And then Eustace got angry and gathered enough metal to make a big metal arm. And then he threw a punch at Magneto. And then Magneto grabbed the big metal arm with his power of magnetism and then threw it against the wall, while also making Eustace fly toward the same wall. And then Eustace hit the wall and fell to the ground. And then Magneto picked up more metal objects and then threw them at Eustace, making him bleed 13% of his blood. And then when Eustace was getting up, he thought to himself, "Nothing is working. Everything I've thrown at this old geezer is useless. But I can't lose again. Not like that one time when I fought one of the Yonko. Yonko are one of the the Yonko are the four most notorious and most powerful pirates in the One Piece world, but are neither allies or nor enemies of one another, except in some scenarios. Preferring to remain autonomous under most circumstances. These four individually reside within the second half of the Grand Line, known as the New World, and exerting an impressive influence and control over dozens of other pirate crews and self-governing islands. And then Eustace gathered enough metal to make two giant metal arms and threw them both at Magneto. And then Magneto said, Say move again. You must be desperate." And then he grabbed both giant metal arms and separated all the metal and put them all in a pile, except for Eustace's arm, which he tore off Eustace, and then Eustace screamed in pain, "Ah!" And then Magneto took Eustace's metal arm and opened the hands in a claw-like form and aimed for Eustace's heart, and the metal arm did just that, and once he had Eustace's heart, he crushed it. Fatality. And then Magneto got confused and looked around and said, "What in the world?" And then there was silence for 4 minutes, and then Magneto looked at Eustace's corpse and then said, "You are no match for me, my dear boy. And there's only one master of magnetism, and that's me, so goodbye." And then Magneto left the arena. For the last and ultimate battle, Mysteriousman will take the previous winners from the DeathriderZ battles and put them in one big arena to have a battle to the death, and the winner of the battle will go on to face Mysteriousman or just claim his or her victory. So the contestants will be Enel versus the Grim Reaper versus Captain Marcus versus Portgas the Ace versus Mr. Zero Crocodile versus Magneto. All of the contestants were teleported to the big arena with a concrete floor and a wall with no windows, except for one, which was at the top for viewing. All of the opponents stared at each other while waiting for the bell to ring, and then they all heard a staticky noise. And then they heard a voice on the intercom, which was Mysteriousman, and then he said, "Welcome, contestants from various dimensions. You're all here for your own reasons, whether it's to be the best or to be the best, or for your own enjoyment of fighting. The rules are pretty simple. Fight to the death with the skills and abilities you have. But there is one rule, and that is not to forfeit or help out an opponent. Some of the other Death Riders might come to watch this battle, but they cannot join because they lost their battle. Now, let this ultimate battle begin." Then the bell rings. Ding! All the opponents rush to fight each other, except for Captain Marcus, in which he was choosing a hero to pick slash mercenary, and he went with Captain Hook slash Claw. And then after he was done picking the hero slash mercenary, he went in to join the fight. Enel was fighting Crocodile, the Reaper was fighting Magneto, and Ace was now fighting with Captain Marcus. And Captain Marcus changed to a different hero for fighting with Ace. And he chose Kaio Kusagi, not the actual character, but some skills and abilities are the same. And before you ask, yes, they can change the opponent that they're fighting or fight multiple ones if they choose to. In the fight with the Reaper and Magneto, the Reaper strikes first with his scythe, and then Magneto dodged it and grabbed the Reaper's scythe, which was partly made of metal, and threw it at him, cutting him in half, which didn't really do anything to the Reaper. So the Reaper flew over to Magneto and put his skeleton hands on him, and then Magneto started getting older and older till he's nothing but bones. And then the Reaper was looking at the other fights and decided to join Enel and Crocodile's fight. In the fight with Enel and Crocodile, Enel attacked first using Thor! And then the attack went right through Crocodile, and then he reformed himself using his stand abilities. And then attacked Enel with the Soto's bottle, and it went right through Enel. And then Enel reformed himself with his electrical abilities. And then just when they were going to attack each other again, the Reaper flies in, throws his scythe at both opponents, which did the exact same thing as before. So the Reaper flew over to Enel and put his skeletal hands on him, and then Enel got older and older until he was nothing but bones. And then the Reaper looks at Crocodile, and then they continue to fight. Meanwhile, with the fight with Ace and Captain Marcus, Ace attacked first by using Fire Fist. Marcus attacked back with Fire Punch, and then both opponents jumped back, and then Marcus decided to switch back to Captain Hook slash Call hero. And then after he changed to that hero, he threw a bomb at Ace, and then Ace jumped over the bomb. And while he was jumping, the bomb exploded, but Ace was high in the air, so the explosion didn't hit him. And then while he was distracted, Marcus jumped into the air and attacked Ace with the hook, which it went right through him. And then Ace slammed kicked Marcus to the ground, losing 15% of his health. And then Marcus got back up and then used his helmet skill. So he's wearing a Iron Knight's helm right now. Headbutts on Ace, and it went right through him again. And then Ace used Flame Commander, which burned Marcus, and he took 35 damage. And then Marcus got up again and then changed his hero to Death Knight. And then after he changed, he attacked Ace with his sword, and then it went through Ace again. And then Ace normally attacked Marcus, and then Marcus defended against it. And then Ace counterattacked with his fist, and hit Marcus making him lose 10% of his health. And then Marcus used his armor skill, Death Grab, and two little skulls headed towards Ace, and it went right through him. And then Ace used Diankai and Tay, and aimed toward Marcus, and it hit Marcus, making him lose and go back to his dimension. And then, no, it would have just made him go back to the spectating area. And then Ace went to join Crocodile in the Reaper's battle. In the battle, both opponents were crashing Scythe and Hook for a while. And then a few minutes later, Ace joins in and then uses Yun and shoots at both the opponents. And the fire shots go through Crocodile, but do hit the Reaper, even though it doesn't affect him, except like he's on fire and like his bones are on fire and like his robe is on fire. That's literally all that there is to it. And then the Reaper flew over to Crocodile and put his skeletal hands on his arm, and nothing happened. And then Crocodile hit the Reaper with his golden hook, and the Reaper went flying towards the wall. And then Crocodile looks at Ace and then says, "Are you the one who burned up the billions ships?" And then Ace said, "Yep, I was helping out my brother and his friends." And then Crocodile said, "I see." And then Crocodile used slow moves and sent it towards Ace. And the sandstorm went through Ace. And then the Reaper got up and then flew over to Crocodile and then said, "Are you immortal?" And then Crocodile said, "No, I have the power of the sand fruit, which makes it impossible for me to turn into a skeleton." And then the Reaper said, "I see." And then the Reaper sliced through Crocodile and then flew over to Ace. And then Crocodile reformed with his sand ability. And then the Reaper was over by Ace and put his skeleton hands on Ace. And then Ace got older until he was nothing but bones. And then there was silence with both opponents staring at each other for a bit. And then they both attacked and then clashed Scythe and Hook again for 5 minutes. And then Crocodile counterattacked with Sobos Pesado. And then the Reaper dodged it. And then threw his scythe at Crocodile. And then Crocodile defended against it, and then the Reaper flew up to Crocodile and started taking his soul. And Crocodile couldn't do anything, but he did try to put his hand on the Reaper's arm and didn't do anything. And then Crocodile's soul was taken, and then the Reaper put in a bottle. And then the Intercom came on again, and Mysteriousman said while clapping his hands, "Congratulations, you did great." And then the Reaper said, "Thanks, those were some tough opponents though." And then Mysteriousman said, "You're welcome. Now that the battle is finished, please come to the meeting room." And then the Reaper said, "Sure, what for?" And then Mysteriousman said, "To talk about some things." And then the Reaper said, "Okay," and then left the arena. At the meeting room, all the DeathriderZ were there, even the ones that were defeated in battle, but they got revived by Mysteriousman. And then once everyone was there, Mysteriousman said, welcome everyone. I want to thank you for participating in this tournament and fighting against me. But now that we're done with this tournament, let's move on to something else." And then one of the guild officers, RobotGz, said, "What did you have in mind?" And then Mysteriousman said, "Let's go on an adventure." And then everyone said, "Another one?" And then Mysteriousman said, "Yes, but this one will be different. Different meaning traveling to the real world." And then another guild officer spoke, and it was Death Knight. "Where exactly in the real world?" And then Mysteriousman evilly smirks and then says, "Wisconsin." And then Mysterious Man evilly laughs. To be continued. Um, but it's not. So yes, there's going to be a third story, but also there's a additional story that I forgot to put in, which I will be reading here in a sec. Okay. This one is Mysterious Man versus Saitama. After defeating Thanos and acquiring some extra weapons, so this is literally after the Mysterious Man versus Thanos fight. Mysterious Man thought to himself, I think I know someone that's able to somewhat withstand my powers besides Superman. Evilly smirking, he then teleports to where Saitama is, which is the One Punch dimension / universe. After arriving in the One Punch dimension, Mysterious Man then pinpointed where Saitama was, and then teleported to the apartment building he was living at. And then he walked up the stairs until he was on the right floor, and walked down the hallway until he was at the right door. And then Mysterious Man rang the doorbell. Ding dong! In Saitama's apartment, Saitama was sleeping while the TV was still on, and then Mysterious Man rang the doorbell again. Ding dong! No answer again. And then he rang it again. Ding dong! No answer again. And then Mysterious Man said in his mind, must be sleeping. I think I'll give him a wake-up call. Evilly smirking, he then was about to teleport when all of the sudden Genos showed up with grocery bags in his arms and said, "Excuse me, can I help you?" Yeah. Well, okay, I'll do a different voice. And then Mysterious Man turned to Genos and said, Genos, it's a pleasure to meet you. Holds hand out. Genos shakes Mysterious Man's hand. And yes, I'm trying to ask Saitama a question. And then Genos said, who are you? And how do you know me? And what do you know, what do you want with my master? And then Mysterious Man said, so many questions, but I might as well answer them since I have all the time in the world. I am Mysterious Man, the most powerful man in the universe, and I know you and Saitama because I basically know everything like a dictionary. Almost, but more precise. And what I want with your master is if he would like to face me in battle. And then Genos looked angry and pointed his cyborg arm while also dropping a grocery bag at Mysterious Man. And then said, I see, but you're going to fight him. You're going to have to go through me. And then Mysterious Man said while evilly smirking, Omairo Shindo. And then Geo said, what? and then exploded, and only a few bits of his cyborg body were left. And then Mysterious Man waited for 3 minutes to see if Saitama would come out, and nothing happened. And then Mysterious Man teleported in front of the apartment and then poofed out a wheel, and then said, I wonder what I'll get this time. Yeah, I should have put the wheel in a little bit more into the second story, but it's fine. And then he spun the wheel, and it landed on a big meteor. Other options were crush the building like a garbage compactor, hit by one of Mysterious Man's fists, go through a black hole, but Mysterious Man will keep out Saitama, slice it up into Tetris cubes, and flatten the building like a pancake. And after the wheel stopped on Big Meteor, Mysterious Man then summoned a big meteor out of the sky and sent it down on the apartment building. And it crashes onto the building, and the after effects are that some of the building is left, and then And then Mysterious Man waited for a bit until he saw a bald man standing up and shouting, Who blew up the apartment building? And then Mysterious Man walked up to the bald man and tapped on one of his shoulders, saying, It was me. And then the bald man angrily shouted, Why would you blow up a building? I was trying to sleep. And then Mysterious Man said, Well, I did ring the doorbell 3 times, but you didn't answer, so I decided to give you a wake-up call and summon a big meteor to crash the building. Also, it's a pleasure to meet you, Saitama. Tips Top Hat. And then Saitama calmed down a little bit and said, Oh, my bad. But you still, you should have waited 10 minutes for me to wake up. Also, it's a pleasure to meet you as well. But who are you? And then Mysterious Man said, I see. I suppose I could have waited. Oh well, what's done is done. Shrugged shoulders. Besides, I can put the building back together without any scratchers, and revive the people I killed. Anyways, my name is Mysterious Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Bows. And then Saitama said, Oh, and what do you want with me, Mysterious Man? And then Mysterious Man said, Well, I wanted to have a one-on-one battle with you to the death. And then Mysterious Man threw down the infinity gauntlet. Clank! And then Saitama said, If I say no, you won't put back the building, correct? And then Mysterious Man said, Yes, that is correct. Although, I suppose I could put back the building together and force you to fight me, which I don't like doing, unless it's absolutely necessary. And then Saitama said, Okay, then let's go. I'm starving anyways, and Genos was supposed to be back by now with groceries. And then Mysterious Man leaves work and said, Okay, let's go to a deserted wasteland and about Genos. And then Mysterious Man picked up the Infinity Gauntlet and then teleported the both of them to his deserted wasteland that's very far away from the city. And then Saitama said, Good thinking. That way we won't hurt anyone. And what about Genos? And then Mysterious Man said, I killed him. Well, more like exploded him into tiny cyborg pieces. And then Saitama got really angry and sped towards Mysterious Man while getting ready to punch him and saying, You jerk! And Mysterious Man collided with Saitama's fist with his own, and now the battle has finally begun. Mysterious Man and Saitama's fists were colliding with each other, and what happened is that they made a very huge circle on the ground with cracks. And unknown to Saitama's knowledge, they also cracked the earth in half. And now they were standing at each opposite ends of the cracks. And then they both ran towards each other, and Saitama tried to punch Mysterious Man, but Mysterious Man dodged it. And then Mysterious Man tried to punch Saitama, but Saitama dodged it. And this went on for 10 minutes, and occasionally they would collide with their fists in the air, and sometimes on the ground. And when they would do it on the ground, they would make the very huge circle they cracked the first time larger each time they fought on the ground. And then Saitama said while smirking, Wow, another person I can fight with my full potential. Also, I noticed you're holding back. And then Mysterious Man said, It's good that I can make the opponent fight to their fullest potential. I relish in that. Also, you fought Superman as well. And by the way, I'm holding back because 1, it makes the fight somewhat interesting, and 2, you wouldn't be able to withstand my full power. And then Saitama said, so you were holding back. I can feel it. Wait, you fought Superman too? And also, I want to give me everything you've got. And then Mysterious Man said while evilly smirking, Yep, I did fight Superman, but unlike you, I finished him off. You asked for it. And as soon as Mysterious Man said that, he teleported behind Saitama and punched him in the face so hard that he flew all the way to the other side of the continent and crashed into a building so hard that it got destroyed. Uh, and he was under the rubble, and he was also bleeding. And then Mysterious Man teleported Saitama back to the deserted wasteland where he was, and Mysterious Man waited for Saitama to get up, and it took 15 minutes for him to get up, but not fully, as he was bleeding everywhere, especially on his face. And he was trying to get up, but his legs just didn't want to stand up. And he kept trying and trying. And eventually he got up. But as he was getting up, you could hear his leg bones cracking back together. And then Saitama said, "Wow, that's the first time for me bleeding and having broken legs. Usually that doesn't happen to me. Also, did you hold back again?" And then Mysterious Man said, "Yes, I know it doesn't usually happen to you. Yes, I did hold back, but like I said, you wouldn't be able to withstand my full power. For example, you would generally be a villain with one punch, correct?" And then Saitama said, "Yeah, that's right." And then Saitama said, Mysterious Man said, "Well, it's like that, but even if you die, I can always revive you." And then Saitama said, "I see, but didn't I say to give me everything you've got?" And then Mysterious Man said, "Yes, you did." And then Saitama said, "Well, I'm waiting." And then Mysterious Man sighed, and then said, "Don't you want to fight me to your last breath?" And then Saitama thought for a bit, and then said, "I do, but I feel like you'll still be holding back." And then Mysterious Man said, "I see. Well, I promise to fight you with all my power, and not hold back. Cross my heart, hope to die." Makes an invisible X on his heart with one of his fingers. And then Saitama said, "Okay." And then after Saitama said that, Mysterious Man teleported behind him again and was about to punch Saitama. But then Saitama dodged it and said, "Same thing again?" And then tried to punch Mysterious Man, but Mysterious Man dodged it and then counterattacked by punching Saitama in the stomach. And Saitama flew all the way up into space, and then Mysterious Man teleported to where Saitama was and clenched both his fists and used one of his many fighting skills and said while punching Saitama, "Uranium Diamond Punch Bazooka!" And after he said that, Saitama got shot straight down right through the earth, and then the earth exploded. And all there was left was lots of debris and some blood. And then Mysterious Man said while tipping his top hat, "Well, this is what you wanted, Saitama. But I will say I enjoyed our battle while it lasted. Now then." Cheerio, tips top hat. And after he said that, he put back the earth and he revived everyone he killed, and evilly laughed as he teleported to his next battle. All right, so that was my second story that I wrote. There there were other battles. There were other battles that I didn't put in. Um, uh, like example being there were some against Mysterious Man, and I put enough points against Mysterious Man, and it was just at the point like, okay, we get it, um uh, um he's the most powerful man in the universe. I didn't want to like like I put a certain amount of points in the story because like like if I made my point, like I made my point, so that's why I did that. The other thing is like there were um, other battles against other opponents that I left out. I can't, on top of my mind, I can't remember like um, um, any of them except um, maybe Ghost Rider versus uh, Soul King Brook. Um, I don't know if I wrote that down like on my list. So so yeah, the third story involving Mysteriousman. That's something I'll work on in the future. Um, the third story that I'm working on is I've already talked about it. It says uh, it's gonna it's gonna involve Lost Saga and um, it's gonna be uh, a story on Lost Saga um like I'll try my I'll do my best to like from Time Gate's story, like I'll build like off that, or like I'll just do a different one, whatever um uh I want to do. And also including with the story my Lost Saga experience. So that'll be interesting. Um, but of course, like I said, I've been procrastinating on it because like right now, like I'm going through some crap. Um, so it's gonna be a really long time before I go back to that. For now, uh, so next time I'll be reading from like an actual book. Um, I have like a few books, and it's like in my container downstairs. Um, I'll just pick one and I'll most likely do save uh, hero slash villains because well it depends on what the book is if I can't like find anything related to said book, then I'll just do save hero slash villains. So yeah, so to next time to episode me reading stories episode 3. This is RobotGz signing off. Bye. Also let me know what you think of the story. So bye.